Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Samanta Chakvalisu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhammang Nirajas Sunantu Saggamokadang Dhammat Savana Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Dhammat Savana Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Dhammat Savana Kalu Ayang Bhadanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Sabbi tasanti dandasa sabbi bhayanti machuno attanang upamang katva nahaniyana ghate sabbi tasanti dandasa sabbi sangjivitang piyang attanang upamang katva nahaniyana ghate. Dear friends in the Dhamma, this is the morning sermon at the Vesak celebration at the London Buddhist Vihara. The stanzas I have selected, recited in the Dhammapada. You all are familiar with those stanzas. The meaning of that stanza, it says, all trembles in the rod, violence. All fear death. Making oneself, for example, one should neither kill nor cause to kill others. The next stanza, it says, all tremble in the rod. Tremble in the rod. That means violence. All love life. Making oneself the example, one should neither kill nor cause to kill. Although I have selected these two stanzas, but it is not the main sermon I am going to discuss in this sermon today. The sermon I have selected is called the Veludvara Sutta, coming from the Samyutta Nikaya, Sotapatti Samyutta. Because the factors explained in that sermon are relevant to these two stanzas. That is why I have selected those two stanzas. Then today this sermon is mainly based on Veludvareya Sutta from the Samyutta Nikaya. This Veludvareya Sutta lays down a complete program for lay training. So that is why I selected lay training, for lay disciples training. At one time, the Buddha was traveling by stages of Kosala country with a large community of monks. In due course arrived the Brahmin village of Veludvara. Veludvara, when we translate to English, it shows bamboo gate. Because Velu is the bamboo trees, we call Velu. Veluvanarama, you can remember. Bamboo gate. So, Brahmin and householders of that village, they heard that Buddha is visiting, Buddha has come to their village. They were talking about the Buddha. It is said, sir, that the recluse Gautama, Sakya's son, who went forth from the Sakya clan, has been wandering in Kosala with a large community of monks and has come to Veludvara. Concerning this Blessed One, this fear, concerning the Blessed One, this fair report has been spread about. That means Buddha's good name has spread to those people. It says, so too is he is the Blessed One. For he is Arahant, fully self-awakened one, accomplished in wisdom and conduct, holy, knower of worlds, supreme guide to those who wish to train, teach of gods and humans, awaken and blessed. So those are the Buddha's qualities. You are familiar with those things. We call the Itipiso Bhagavan because that word has spread. Having realized, they were talking about the Buddha, they said, having realized by his own direct knowledge, this world with its gods, its Maras and its Brahmins, this generation with its recluses, its Brahmins, its rulers, its people, he makes it known to others. He teaches the Dhamma, good in the beginning, good in the middle, good in the end, both in the spirit and in the letter. He proclaims a holy life that is entirely complete and pure. It is good to see such Arahant. So that is what they were talking about the Buddha. Then the Brahmins and householders of Veludwara went to the Blessed One. Some greeted the Buddha and sat down at one side. Some exchanged greeting with the Blessed One and then sat down at one side. Some having saluted the Blessed One with lotus palm, sat down at one side. Some announced their name and clan before the Blessed One and then sat down at one side. Some kept silence and sat down at one side. What it says, because when congregation went there, according to their thinking, they greeted Buddha, some of them greeted Buddha, some they didn't greet Buddha. Then they sat down and listened. Because it is the normal way people react whenever they go to. When they come to the temple, they do the same thing. So according to their mentality, they think that whether I should pay respect or not. According to their standard, they think I am higher than the others. So they have that kind of feeling. So anyway, so then they went to the Buddha and they sat down, then sitting like that one side, Brahmin householders of Veludwara said to the Blessed One, what he said, Master Gautama, we have such desires, such wishes, such hopes. They said, they are saying that these are the things we all need. What? They think, normal people think, may we dwell in a house crowded with children. Because you are all family members. You are like to have your children. And may we enjoy Kasi sandalwood. That means it is not applicable to today, but those days Kasi sandalwood are the very expensive one they can use for their body and everything. And also they said, may we wear garlands, scents and makeup. So that is what they do, ordinary people they do. May we enjoy gold and silver using jewelry and money. Although you are not wearing gold and jewelries today, but that is the way normally when you go to a place, so you are wearing those things. That is the normal way, normal behavior of people. Then their wishes are those. Then lastly he said, when the body breaks up, after death, may we be reborn in a good destination, in a heavenly world. That could be another things people are thinking about. When we die, we can go to some better place. So that is a normal way of thinking. So they are thinking, we are using all these things, whether after death, whether we can have a good destination, good place to be reborn. What are the things we need? So that is what they were asking Buddha. That is normal way, normal people's wishes. So Buddha has given them very beautiful saying. Then it says, as we have such desires, such wishes, such hopes, may Master Gautama teach us the Dhamma, which is the way that is might dwell in a home crowded with children, that we might enjoy Kasi sandalwood, we might wear garlands, scents and makeup, and we might enjoy gold and jewelry, gold and silver, jewelry and money. That when we body breaks up after death, we may be reborn in a good destination in the heavenly world. So, Buddha, they ask, sermon, something tell us how to be in a good destination after one's death. Then the Buddha said, I will teach you, householders, Buddha said, a Dhamma teaching for self-applications. That Pali word for that is Attupanayikang Dhammang Paryayam. Attupanayikang Dhamma Paryayam. That means Dhamma teaching for self-application. One can apply the teachings. That's what it means. Listen, pay close attention, I will speak. Then they said, yes, Bhante. They have to reduce the volume of this, that's right. Not here, over there. So, not here, over there. Then they agreed to listen to the Buddha's teaching. Then the Brahmin holders of this Veludwara replied and accepted to the Blessed One. Blessed One said, what householders is the Dharma teaching for self-application? These teachings open with the first 7 of 10 causes of wholesome karma. Wholesome, unwholesome karma too. This is effectively a training based on an elaboration of the 5 precepts. That is a program for moral conduct. Then follows a short section of mental cultivation given as a collection of the 3 jewels, which is the accomplishment of moral virtue, lead to esteem winning in this life itself. So that is the main teachings in this sermon, this Vedudwara Sutta. It explains about those 7 factors of unwholesome deeds, and also how the faith and also how the triple gem can help them to attain so on states. So this sutta, the sutta is a Buddhist classic of the philosophy and practice of moral ethics based on the golden rule. There is a golden rule on the doctrine of reciprocity. Otherwise it can exchange. Negatively state, we say, do not do to others what you do not wish others to do to you. Do not do to others what you do not wish others to do to you. Positive side we can say, do unto others what you wish them to do unto you. Then, let us discuss about those things. Here, Buddha said, householders, a noble disciple reflects like this. I am one who wishes to live, who does not wish to die, who desires happiness, who dislikes suffering. Since I am one who wishes to live and does not wish to die, who desires happiness and dislikes suffering, if someone were to take my life, that would be neither desirable nor agreeable to me. Then say, now, if I were to take the life of another, if one wishes to live, who does not wish to die, who desires happiness, who dislikes suffering, that would be neither desirable nor agreeable to them, agreeable to him too. What is undesirable and unagreeable to me is undesirable and disagreeable to others too. How I can inflict upon another what is undesirable and disagreeable to me? So that is the teachings of the Buddha. Buddha says, we want to live, but if we are going to harm someone else, we are taking their life. That is not agreeable. Then that is why, having the understanding that that person may think he himself abstain from destroying life. He encourages others to abstain from destroying life. And he speaks in praise of abstaining from destroying life. So that is what called Pali word, it called the Trikoti Parishuddha Silet. From three sides, it is perfect. It is the threefold purity of the conduct, bodily conduct. He himself abstains from killing, and also he doesn't encourage anyone to do that, and also he prays if someone is not doing it. Then, therefore, bodily conduct is purified in three aspects. Then the unconditional love, that is called, we call the metta or maitri, means accepting ourselves just as we are and extending that same openness to others and to nature. It is not only humans, it is for the nature. This is an open acceptance of the true reality around us. This most basic truth is that all beings love their life, and these lives are only possible when they coexist with the sustainable environment. This is a life-centered system. The Buddhist moral system is best described as being life-centered. The very first fact we cannot deny is that we are alive, and no one, his right mind, would want to die. We value life, meaning that it is good in itself, but it also has a moral purpose. Understandably, Buddhist ethics begin with the value of life expressed to our being. This is a value underpinning the first precepts, which is against killing. So that is Buddha's teaching. He is totally against the killing, because that is the right of a person to live. These principles of our love to live and understanding that others have the same love is called the golden rule. That is what I explained earlier. Simply put, it is do not do to others what we do not want others to do to us. This principle is described in the Vedudvareya Sutta. Then another factor is respect for the not given. Also, householders, a noble disciple reflects in this way. If someone wanted to take from me what I have not given, that is to steal from me, and would be neither desirable nor agreeable to me. Now, if I were to take from another what he has not given, this is to steal from him. That would be neither desirable nor agreeable to him too. What is undesirable and disagreeable to me is undesirable and disagreeable to others too. How I can inflict upon another what is undesirable and disagreeable to me? So that is also same way to explain. When someone reflects in that way, he himself abstains from taking the not given. He exhorts others to abstain from taking the not given. And he speaks in praise of abstaining from the taking the not given. So that is the three way that person is avoid from taking not given. So the bodily conduct is purified in three aspects. We all have to work for a living, or we are supported by others who work for a living. Through industry and honesty or whatever, we earn our life supports. We are able to feel happiness expressed to or in things and through our ideas and feeling. This is the value of happiness. That is what we call the Ati Sukha. We all need that. We think that when we have things, we are happy. When such a property or ideas is disrespected or violated, we are deprived of the source of our happiness. If someone wants to take that source of our happiness away, it would bring us suffering. When we steal from someone, we are wrongly and effectively taking away his happiness. Happiness then is the value underpinning the second precept, which is against taking the not given. So that is important thing, because we earn, you all earn things to live, but you know what the feeling when you have if someone come and steal from your house and things. So that is a so bad feeling, unhappiness comes. So that is why we shouldn't do it what we don't want to have, because that feelings we don't want to get. So same way we have to behave in that way. Then respect for the body. The next one, furthermore, household. The noble disciple reflects in this way. If someone were to have sexual relationship with my wife or husband, that would be neither desirable nor agreeable to me. Now, if I were to have sexual relationship with the wife or husband of another, that would be neither desirable nor agreeable to him or her too. What is undesirable and disagreeable to me is undesirable and disagreeable to others too. How I can inflict upon another what is undesirable and disagreeable to me? So when we understand that one, having reflected in that way, what will happen? Oneself abstains from sexual misconduct. He or she exhorts others to abstain from sexual misconduct, and he or she speak in praise of abstaining from sexual misconduct. In our happiness is in having things. It is incomplete or meaningless if we are unable to actually enjoy them. This means that they benefit both our bodies and mind. One of the key ways that we enjoy what we have is through our healthy bodies. Through our bodies too, we express our acceptance and love for others. This is a complicated process because we have to be sure that both parties know what they are doing and are willing to share responsibility. If others violate our bodies, especially when we say no to a relationship, then we are being deprived of our freedom. We have lost control of our bodies as it were. We should be free to accept or reject any relationship. Therefore, the third precept is against sexual misconduct, which is underpinning by the value of freedom, expressed through our actions or non-action. It dictated by our conscience and wisdom. So, respect of the truth. Also, householders. Noble disciple reflects in this way. If someone wanted to damage my welfare with a false speech, that would be neither desirable nor agreeable to me. Now, if I were to damage the welfare of someone else with false speech, that would be neither desirable nor agreeable to him too. What is undesirable and disagreeable to me is undesirable and disagreeable to others too. So that is what happened in the society, because to damage someone's character, they do false things, they make things, and they say things, and it harms them. If someone is doing it, it is a painful thing for someone, the person. And also both parties will get upset with it. Now, how I can inflict upon another what is undesirable and disagreeable to me? So when they understand it, there is threefold purity of verbal conduct. It will happen. He himself abstains from false speech. He exhorts others to abstain from false speech. He speaks in praise of abstaining from false speech. So that is what happened. So another thing is that this is also connected with the words respect for harmony. Also householders, a noble disciple reflects like this. If someone were to divide me from my friends by divisive speech, that would be neither desirable nor agreeable to me. Now, if I were to divide someone else from his friends or her friends by divisive speech, that would be neither desirable nor agreeable to him too. What is undesirable and disagreeable to me is undesirable and disagreeable to others too. How I can inflict upon another what is undesirable and disagreeable to me? So that is how they have to think, how they think about it. Then what will happen? Then verbal conduct, he will continue in this way. He himself abstains from divisive speech. He exhorts others to abstain from divisive speech. And also he speaks in praise of abstaining from divisive speech. And same way, there are proper speech. This is musavada, parusavacha, pisunavacha, sampappalapa. Those are the four things we are going to talk. Now I am not going to go on further same way. Then we have to understand that the proper use of word, respect for useful speech. For all those pisunavacha, parusavacha, sampappalapa and musavada, all those things are verbal things which will affect one's life, and also our words can affect someone else's life. So we have to be careful. We have to have that precepts for ourselves, and also we should encourage them to others to practice in the same way. So all this statement to be meaningful and applicable, they have to be true. This is the value of truth. This is actually shorthand for right speech. You can remember in one of the Eightfold Path, it's explained right speech, that is what we talk about, which is free from falsehood, from inciting disharmony, from harshness, from the unimportant talk. Truth is the very basic of wholesome human communication. This is a value understanding the fourth precepts, which is against communicating falsehood. This moral ethics, however, is not an end in itself, but serves as a foundation for mental cultivation. That is what we have to think about. This is for the mental cultivation and the greater goal of spiritual liberation. This golden rule forms the basis for the social relationship of the sixth direction elaborated in the Singalovada Sutta. The Veludwara Sutta seems to assume that audience already has some idea of the 10 unwholesome courses of action and also the wholesome actions. Veludwara Sutta also omits to mention of the mental karma, as the Buddha is here focusing on the precepts, mainly the moral value of body and speech. That is the moral training. Buddha purposely was doing that because when someone is practicing those 7 factors, those precepts, that person has a lot of good qualities, because without love you cannot practice all those things. The mental training aspect is found in the recollection of three jewels. Because end of the sermon, Buddha is saying, practice the recollection of three jewels, Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, it explained. And also the moral value. Then these four qualities famously form the four limbs of extreme winning, Sotapatti Anga. That is accomplishment of wise faith in the three jewels, in moral value dear to the noble ones. Because moral virtues are the dear to noble ones. In short, the understanding, teaching of the Veludvari Sutta is actually the attainment of extreme winning. That means the Sovan state. So if someone is think really, when you go deeper into that precept, you will find we are developing a lot of noble qualities. Those noble qualities will lead us to attainment of Sotapanna stage. So, by keeping the precepts, we celebrate our humanity and enjoy the divine abodes of loving kindness, compassion, gladness, and equanimity. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekka, all those things are practiced when you are keeping those precepts. Of these four abodes, loving kindness is the most fundamental, and the other three abodes are successively more refined form of loving kindness. As such, we must always begin with loving kindness in this practice and gradually refine it. Here it is helpful to know that the cultivation of loving kindness greatly helps us to keep to the five precepts. If we are loving kind, it is easier not to kill, not to steal, not to commit sexual misconduct, not to lie, not to become drunk or drugged. And when we are morally virtuous, it is easier for us to go deeper into our meditation, especially the mindfulness of the breath. Also, as we are dealing with the precepts and karma, we should be noted that loving kindness is useful in limiting the effect of our bad karma. All worldly achievements, however grand they may be, but temporary. A person may be the most powerful ruler or the most famous film star, but their glory lasts only as long as he lives. So you can remember, our queen passed away, that glory has gone, this another light has come. So that won't be last either, it will go away. Same way, whatever the achievement we get, it will last. In the case of extreme winner, it is not so. His achievement is not taken away by death. It is a permanent achievement if someone attains. That is why Buddha said, Patavya eka rajyena saggassa gamanenava sabba lokadipacchena sotapatti palangvaram. Buddha said, higher than being a monarch, greater than being born in the Deva worlds or heavenly planes, greater than being a ruler of the three worlds, higher than all of these is the attainment of Sotapanna. If someone can attain that state, nobody can take it away. It won't last when one dies. Also, Sovan person has eradicated the misconceptions of the self, what we call the Sakkaya Ditthi. He also does not depend on rites and ceremonies to get over calamities and misfortune. That is what we do. Because we do different type of thing, go to that Devala and this Devala whenever we have problems. But the person who attains Sotapanna, he doesn't want to go. He knows what his reality is. The person, the Sovan person in implicit faith in the triple gem, the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha, he has no doubt, that means no vicikiccha. He has overcome those fetters. He is in his place, he has right understanding and perfect and spotless conception of truth. That's called the Dhammachakku. and the darshan, the pure vision, seeing things in their proper perspective. We ordinary people, what we do? We ordinary people see things in their proper perspective only at the certain times, such as during meditation or when you discuss the Dhamma or listen to a sermon. You get some kind of feelings. But in the case of Sohan, however, he always sees things in their proper perspective. That is in the light of anicca, impermanence, dukkha, suffering, and anatta, of the absence of I. This firm basis is a part and parcel of his personality and remain high him all the time. In our case, we see fleeting glimpse of the truth, similar to lightning illuminating a dark sky. In the case of the Sohan person, he has this right vision as a permanent acquisition. He sees things as being impermanent, unsatisfactory, and without permanent self. When pounding of these characteristics of Sohan, one might be tempted to ask, how it was that Anathapindika and Visakha, who were both Sohan and children, Visakha had many children and was attached to them, while Anathapindika had properties and possessions. However, the important factor is that despite leading a lay life, they had the right vision and craving was eradicated considerably. In other words, they did not have selfish attachment to their children and worldly possessions, and greed and avarice were absent. Since the Sohan person lack of greed, avarice, and selfish attachment in their cursor forms, he is not born in a woeful state. So that is another quality he has. Another important characteristic of Sohan person is that he will never break the 5 precepts. He will never kill, he will never steal, he will never indulge in sexual misconduct, he will never to be engaged in slander or malicious gossip, and he will never take intoxicating drinks and drugs. These characteristics are part and parcel of the Sohan personality. So why I am saying these things? Because to encourage you to follow the same path, then we can proceed to attainment of Sohan, if one wanted to. Because there are things how we can understand the Sohan person, because there are so many Sohan persons claiming they have become Sohan, so we have to find out. But my time is limited, so I have to short it down, the sermon. But there are qualities explained in that. If someone got deception, hypocrisy, jealousy, avarice, denigration of others, arrogance, all those qualities we say, these are normal qualities. People, they have these qualities, normal people. But if someone attains Sotapanna state, he does not have that type of qualities. So we have to remember that. So, now, I have omitted those qualities explaining more and more, but we have therefore, looking at the positive side, a Sohan person is possessed with qualities of honesty, uprightness, benevolence, altruistic joy, magnanimity, modesty, and humility. To find out if one is a Sohan, one should direct the searchlight towards and analyze truthfully if one has traces of the negative qualities of deceit, cunning, hypocrisy, jealousy, avarice, feeling of self-importance, and arrogance. Those are the qualities. If those qualities are someone good, those qualities, that person we cannot say he is in Sovan. Sovan does not have even a little of any of these qualities. This is the acid test necessary to ascertain if one is a Sovan. How does one find out another person is Sovan? It is very difficult. In order to recognize if another is Sovan, one should have attained that state or even higher state oneself. Or alternatively, one should possess the ability to read another's mind, so that one could ascertain thoughts that linger in this inner release of the mind. It is mentioned in the commentaries that once a junior monk who associated with another monk for a long period did not know that the senior monk was an arahant. This was because the junior monks had not attained that state. How to become Sovan? In Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha mentioned 4 qualities. They are not easy. To attainment of Sovan too, it is not an easy task. But we must begin this long journey. The first step, as the Buddha explained, is Dhamma Savana, or listen to the Dhamma. This creates a spiritual revolution in one's mind. During this time, one's mind is concentrated and the 5 defilements, sense desires, ill will, sloth and torpor, restlessness and worry and doubt are all suppressed. In their place, the mind is infused with energy, joy, concentration and self-control. These are the factors which promote enlightenment. The second is to associate with a good friend of Kalyana Mitra. The Buddha said that association with Kalyana Mitra is the whole of the holy life. Here Kalyana Mitra also refers to a teacher. The third is the ability to see things in their proper perspective. If one is attached to another, one only sees the good in that person. If a person is one's enemy, they only see bad in that person. So one sees the good as good and the bad as bad and is not prejudiced and influenced by other factors. Another illustration is a beautiful head of hair. This is considered to be the object of beauty. Hairs are beauty and admired by many. But if one hair falls into a cup of tea, it becomes object of disgust. But both items are exactly the same. They are composed at the same elements: Pathavi, Teju, Vayu, Ayu, Varna, Gandha, Rasoja. But we see one is attractive and the other unattractive. Lastly, the cultivation of virtue, concentration and wisdom. With effort and diligence, one must practice and develop these qualities to become a Sovan. In other words, one must be a spiritual athlete and develop the qualities of Sila, Samadhi and Panya and focus one's mind through meditation so that with penetrative insight gain, one can get a glimpse of the truth through the attainment of Sovan. So we need to practice precepts properly. When one practices it properly, then it will lead you to have a lot of good qualities, then it will lead you to the state of Sovan. May you understand the teachings of the Buddha. May the blessings be with you all. May we all attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. දන්නේ දෙංගලුවේ මොකද්ද කියන්නේ
Now we are going to perform this Buddha Day, Vesak Day Buddha Puja. Usually we almost every day offer Buddha Puja. Every day we offer Buddha Puja. But today Buddha Puja is very special. That is the Buddha Day or Vesak Day Buddha Puja. As I told you, Mr. Pianta Pereira and his friends have sponsored for the Vesak Day Dana. According to the sort of time period, now no need to explain the greatness of the offering Buddha Puja, as you know. So let us offer the Buddha Puja reciting gathas. We all together made the offering, the first part of the preparation, go to the Buddha. May the offerings go to the Buddha. May the enormous merits of this Buddha Puja, unique day in the calendar, be with you. We wish you especially good health. Other all achievements you can have if you have good health. So therefore we wish you very, very good health to everyone. And may you all attain nirvana.
Vannagandha guno pitam etam kusuma sampatim pujayami munindassa siripada sarorure pujemi buddham kusumena nena punyena mete jahotu Upam nilayati atai dhamme karyo tatayati vinasa bhavam ganasarappa vitena dipena tamadam sima tiloka dipam sambuddham Pujayami namo nudam gandha samhara yuttena dupena sugandhina pujaye pujaniyantam Sukandam sitalam kapam pasanna maduram subham paniya metam bhagava patiganhatu muttama adivasetu no bhante bhojanam parikapitam anukampam upadaya patiganhatu
සාරීරික ධාතු මහා බෝධින් බුද්ධ රූපං සකලං සදා කායේන වාචා චිත්තේන පාදේන මයා කතං අච්චයං කමමේ වන්තේ භූරි පඤ්ඤ තථාගත ඉමිනා පුඤ්ඤ කම්මේන මාමේ පාල සමාගමෝ සතං සමාගමෝ හෝතු යාව නිබ්බාන පත්තියා.
මේ බුද්ධ පූජා මේ මහා පින්කම කරගන්න ලැබුණා වෙසක් දවසේ බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේට බුද්ධ පූජා මේ පින්කම පැවැත්වුවා කියලා සියලු දෙනා වෙසක් දිනේදී කරගන්න ලැබුණ මහා පින්කමක් හැටියට සලකන්න ඕනි. ඔබ හැම දිනාටම මේ පින්කමේ ආශිර්වාදය එකසේ ලැබෙනවා. විශේෂයෙන්ම අපි ප්‍රියන්ත පෙරේරා මහත්මයාට මහත්මියට දන්වන්නට එයාගේ හිතවතුන් සහභාගී වෙනවා. ඒ සෑම දිනාටම අපි කෘතඥ වෙනවා. අපි මේ පින් අනුමෝදන් කරනවා. ඒ රැකී ආරක්ෂාදී උපම් වෙලා ප්‍රාර්ථනා නිෂ්ඨ කරගෙන වඩාත් වාසනාවන්ත ජීවිතයක් හදා තුන්වගේ ආශිර්වාදයක් මේ බුද්ධ පූජා මේ පින්කමේ ආශිර්වාදයට හේතු වාසනා වේවා කියලා. ඔබ සෑම දිනාටම මේ පින් බලෙන් මේ අද දවසේ මේ වගේ වාසනාවන්ත දවසක අපි බුද්ධ පූජා මේ පින්කම පවත්වා ගත්තා කියලා සන්තෝෂ වෙන්න සියලු දෙනාටම මේ පින් මේ සසර ගමනට පිට වේවා. උතුම් නිවන් සම්පත් පිණිස මේ පින් හේතු වාසනා වේවා. අපි නම් ඔබ සෑම දෙනා වෙනුවෙන් the food has been prepared for you with great devotion, with Santa, with compassion. We have to line up and they will offer plate each of you and they will offer their food to everyone. Will you kindly accept the dana? And the seats have been arranged in the main hall. Anywhere you can sit and quietly you can partake the dana food. Okay? Thank you. අපි කියන මාලිකනේ